It's the Big Hairball on Pix 106. At 106.5, WPYX Albany is Pix 106, streaming worldwide at Pix106.com.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 about to begin on the Big Hairball. My name is Vinny, your host. Hairball 1 stage is set. That's right. Tesla, Dokken. I had a chance earlier today to speak to Barry Sparks, bass player of Dokken, one of the groups in Hairball 1. I'm going to try to get the whole thing up on the webpage so you can go over there and listen to it all. I mean, we talked for about 10 minutes. I can't possibly put 10 minutes of interview on air. I cut it down in half. We got about 5 minutes for you. It's pretty good. He's got some great stories. I mean, Barry is living a dream not many of us get to live out. I'll admit I'm kind of lucky and fortunate enough to be living my dream, sharing my nights with you. Let's see what Barry had to say earlier today. Thanks for your time. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule.
Man, I'm glad to be here.
I know you're currently on tour with your band, in between gigs, I believe, out in Tucson, Arizona, if my memory serves me correct.
We just finished the Ted Nugent tour. We toured all summer. Couldn't even tell you where we went. We went to Europe, States. Did some dates with Dokken in between that, and I've been working my band silly in between all that.
How's that part of your tour going, your own band? I mean, that's got to be pretty exciting.
It's going great. You know, I mean, obviously we play smaller places and stuff like that, but it's like put a guitar on and sing my own songs and just get out and play. And it's a totally different world, but it's really rewarding at the same time.
Right. You do a lot of the singing in your own band?
Yeah, we have a lot of it's my chance to really let out my Beatles influences. So we got a lot of harmonies, and it's really like my playground.
Well, the reason I wanted to bring you on the Big Hairball, it's a show I get to do every Friday night on Pix 106. Your involvement with a band that has made it all the way to Hairball 1, Dokken.
Killer.
Next Friday, they're going to face off against Tesla. Being we are treating tonight kind of like Media Day, I thought it'd be nice to get some inside information on Dokken. You know, I believe I've seen it reported that Dokken has new material coming out.
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be out by February, but it looks like it's going to be a little bit later than that. But it should be out by summertime. I'm sure there'll be a new record out.
I also expect that Dokken's going to hit the road this summer, possibly.
You bet. Yeah, hopefully. They're right now. I know they're booking a tour as we speak. So.
Well,
hopefully
cool.
we'll be your way and everywhere else, too.
I grew up in the 80s, so I was a Dokken freak. Let's talk about Dokken for a little bit. What would you consider your favorite classic Dokken tune you turn out on stage with them? By classic, I mean anything released before 1990.
Yeah, let's see. It's not Love. I get to do a bass solo in it. That's obviously fun. Okay. Let's see. I like Just Got Lucky. Those guys get kind of burnt on it, but I'm always the one going, come on, let's play Just Got Lucky again.
Yeah, that is a good tune.
I grew up in the 80s, too, so I saw them in Tucson when I was 15 opening up for Dio. So, to be playing with them all these years later, it's just killer.
Yeah, I can imagine. You've played with a bunch of successful acts, Barry, and we'll get into them in just a bit. Share with us your favorite Dokken moment. You pick it.
To be honest, I can't think of a favorite one. I can think of my worst one. On my first tour with Dokken, I got really sick the day after Christmas, and I had a really bad flu for about a month and a half. And I came in the sound check one day. I was just ragged. Mick Brown, the drummer, turns and goes, "Dude, you need to go to the hospital." So I go, "Well, I don't know. I've been feeling like this for like a month and a half." They took me to the emergency room. It's about 7 o'clock. They pumped me a bunch of fluids in me and stuff like that. They said, "You have pneumonia. You can't go." And I go, "I got a gig to play in an hour and a half." And they just put me full of stuff, and an hour and a half there I was banging my head with talking. A little alcohol. You know, the more Jim Beam and Jack you pour over it, it's just it helps a little bit.
There you go. Now I see you've worked with the likes of Yngwie Malmsteen, the Michael Schenker Group, the Motor City Madman Ted Nugent, who is one of my favorites. I mean, that is one heck of a resume.
Yeah, what's really cool for me is all these guys were guys I idolized when growing up.
I can relate to that. My first gig in radio, I worked with a guy that I listened to for a good 10 years on Capital Land Radio. I admired the guy, and the first day it was tough to keep those feelings inside when you're sitting right next to him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
What's really cool about Ted too, he's one of those guys that when you meet him, you still hold him up high. You don't meet him and go, "Oh man, he's a big jerk." You meet him and you go, "Man, this guy's killer." Ted is one of the coolest, most down to earth guys that that I've ever known. I just love him to death.
I mean, he's just an incredible talent. Growing up, I always said that he had to be flying high on something to act like he did. Then I find out that he doesn't partake in any of those backstage activities.
You know, I think what for him it's just fresh deer meat he just killed before the show.
3 of the guitarists that you have worked with most likely would show up in everyone's 20 greatest guitar list. All 3 have their own style. However, let me lay it on the line. After hearing and sharing the stage with all of them, which one would appear higher on your list? And would any of them occupy the number 1 slot on your greatest guitarist list?
Well, you know, very good question. Tough question because they're all so amazing. I've already given props to Ted. He's freaking amazing. He's one of them. And also, Michael Schenker actually was always one of my biggest influences, and his lead guitar playing, I would have to say, is still some of my favorite playing. Nobody plays. I can hear one note that he does, and he's kind of like a Jeff Beck guy where you just know it's Michael. It's a tough one, but he's one of them for sure.
Thank you for your time, Barry. I really do appreciate it. When you get back and start rehearsals with Don and the boys and Doc, and be sure to check your schedule. Anything you do in New York State, be sure to get a hold of me.
You bet.
Barry Sparks, Dockin' right there. You want more information on that, man, you head on over to BarrySparks.com. This was one of his favorite Dockin' songs to do. We might as well do it on the Big Hairball. Hopefully Dockin' rolls around the area this summer when they're on tour. Pix 106.